Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey,
Hello.
and the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What up, dope?
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. Hello, everyone. Hello, chat. Hello, all the Sinatra fleet coming in. Thank you for joining us. Thanks to all the compliments on the thumbnail I created. I made that joke last, Friday or whatever, that was what I was going to do. And there it is, Pickle Crip. Have you put a pickle on a cripple lately? If you haven't, you should, and take a picture. I'm sure it won't get you in trouble at all. Thank you, tall person. There is a serious problem with YouTube. This is not showing up in my subscription feed. I should not have to go to Twitter to watch YouTube. It's true. You subscribe to this channel or Monkey's channel or Satsu's or anybody's channel, and you hit that bell especially, and supposedly that's meant to tell you when something is oncoming. It should show up in your subscription feed at the top, like this is scheduled to start at XYZ time, but it's not. So I don't know if we are some of the, special few who are shadow banned on YouTube right now or what, but unfortunately, we have no control over it, and that's just the reality. So this is why it's important for everybody, if you have Twitter or Facebook or whatever else, share. Please share. And if you do retweet it on Twitter at least, because I don't pay attention to Facebook myself, please be sure to tag me in it in some fashion so that I know that you did it so I can say thank you, because I appreciate that. But yeah, so welcome to the show. Satsu, how are you?
Pretty good. Actually, called my bank today and talked to them about the processes and steps that we need to take to look into getting the house. And just kind of because I was curious as to how that goes and who I'd have to talk to. And apparently, my bank, they're just like, yeah, you can pretty much do everything through us. But these are the steps you have to take. So got a bunch of information on that. We won't be doing it anytime soon, but it was nice to get that info. So otherwise, it's just been kind of a normal day.
All right. Monkey, how are you?
Not too bad. Rough day, but good ending. Got to hug all three of my grandchildren, so that makes me happy.
Oh, and how are the little ones?
They're well.
Good. For myself, it was month-end day, and so I spent an extra 3 hours doing work from home, of course. Lots of spreadsheets and adding up numbers and a bunch of other things that I have to do. And I'm glad that's over. The tail end of it will be tomorrow, of course, because everything running tonight has to be processed and put into the billing for tomorrow. But who cares about all that? That's all just mundane monthly stuff. You know, women have to deal with monthly stuff every month, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know either. Thank you, tall person. Also, happy National Crayon Day, everybody. I remember there was there was a Mad Magazine something or one time it said, here's how you start out a letter if you really want to intimidate somebody. Take a crayon and write, apologies for the crayon. They don't allow us anything sharp here. And then move on with your letter. And monkey disappears. Okay, we lost the monkey. Hopefully he'll be back soon and the power didn't go out or something crazy. But hey, live TV, everybody.
Indeed.
So in lieu of him being here, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games, hit that like button if you haven't already. Please do. And share our stuff. Most important of the litany there. Share our stuff. I said it before, and I will say it again. If there's a content creator that you like, whether it's us or anybody else, I don't know what YouTube's doing right now, but they're certainly not helping out smaller content creators, or I don't even know if this is endemic to everything or just us, but either way, if you like something, let people know. Tweet it, share it, talk about it on your own shows, whichever. That is the best way to help out everybody in the circle of life that is the YouTube community right now. What happened, Monkey? Why'd you drop out?
Somebody asked on Twitter if there was a Lords of the Night tonight, and I went to grab the link for him, and I had the the window, opening the same window that this
Ah.
the same little window. Closed both of them on accident. I only meant to close one.
Gotcha. All right. Live TV. So I have made a conscious decision, unless there is a clamoring for it, to avoid Corona tonight. I just nothing. I mean, no matter where I go, no matter what story I look at, it is either directly or somehow then entwined with coronavirus, and all it is just numbers and predictions and gloom and doom, and I'm not trying to discount the concern per se, but spending all day with it, this is supposed to be fun time. It's supposed to be entertaining. I don't find talking about something we can't do anything about except just stay at home entertaining. So that's my sort of cranky opinion on it. What do you guys think?
I'm tired of it at this point.
I'm good either way.
I know you watched the press conference,
Yeah.
Monkey. I mean, just for the sake of informing, is there anything important that came out of that we should know?
It's mostly stuff that's already been out there. The thing that really got people today is they came out with numbers that they're expecting could die. The number of people who could die, which could be as high as 2 million, encroaching on 3 million people. If people don't do social distancing, and that was the real big push in this, social distancing. If you social distance, the worst projections, as long as we're doing that, is down to, was it 280,000, which not bad from 2.8 million. But even then, they're like, look, these are what the worst case scenarios of these are. We want to get it even lower than that, and the way to do that is to stay the fuck away from each other for a while.
Yep.
And they're asking, instead of the 14 days, they're asking people to lock down for basically another month.
Yep, that's what it looked like. So I got to, I'm going to have to venture out eventually. I haven't left the house in any meaningful way in about a week and a half. So I'm going to have to go out to the grocery store at some time in the near future. I've been trying to avoid it as long as possible. I can still go a couple other days, I suppose. But when I do, I got to get myself some Jack Daniels. I'm going to try to luxuriate a little bit because holy cow, man. This is nuts. But anyway, anything else of note that we should take in before we move on?
Not really.
Okay. Well, what to talk about? I'm not even sure. Because most of my days spent just kind of futzing around the house when I'm not doing my worky work. So, in the vein of YouTube celebration, let's say, I like to talk about channels that we watch and content creators that we watch aside from the people that we know directly, and talk about them and promote them a little bit, because that's what I'm doing right now to kill time and might help out some people to find something new to kill time where they are. Thank you, Terry Diamantis. I'm half a planet away from all three of you. That should be distant enough, right? Take 3 steps back, okay? Just 3 more.
You're crowding me, man.
I'll feel better. So I'm going to talk about a couple that I watch on occasion or have found recently. So you guys like stories about true crime? There's a lot of those out there. A couple that I like right now are there's one called the Trace Evidence Podcast. The guy talks about specifically unsolved disappearances and or murders. So you already know going in that it's going to be a relatively frustrating experience, because you know ahead of time that whatever he's talking about hasn't been solved, but the details thereof are interesting. The only advice I would give, though, is he kind of spends the first 2-3 minutes of each. What was that? What's that?
It's a Squeedy poo.
Squeedies! What's Squeeze doing here?
She's taking over.
Hi, Squish. Hi, Leah.
Hello.
Squeedus, squishy. You guys should have your own show.
I know.
How is the little one?
She's alright. She's being a weirdo. She keeps trying to crawl through the mesh of her playpen. So she's just smashing her face into it.
She wants freedom.
Yeah, well, Squeetus has a fascination with wires, so she ain't getting free
Oh.
right now.
Yeah, that's probably not wise.
Just make sure you don't get her a kilt. It's going to cause all kinds of problems.
I'll think about that.
Yeah, so yep. Yes, Squeedus. Okay, you know what? She's definitely a Lord of the Night. She's interrupting me already. It's fine. Trace Evidence Podcast. Like I say, the first 2 or 3 minutes of his shows, I skip over because he always gives like this capsule summary of the entire story. And it's like, well, I don't want to hear the story. I will listen to the podcast. I don't want to get all ruined for me. It's like a spoiler alert kind of thing. So I always skip until I hear him talking about his promoting his own show and like talking about how it's a one-man operation, all that kind of thing, and then into the show. So that's what I do. I always skip the first couple minutes. Thank you, Ginger Snap. I just got a notification. Oh my God, you got it like ahead of another 24 hours or something? Because most people are getting it like the next day. Another channel that I like is called Brief Case. A play on words there. He does about like 12 to 15 minute little audio documentaries of usually antiquated cases like murders that happened in like the 1800s or something, or in different parts of the world at different times. Some are more recent than others, but most of them are at least like 1980s backwards, more or less. He's got a few recent ones, but a lot of them are these sort of esoteric or obscure little mystery cases, that kind of stuff. What else? Oh, Rycon role plays, completely different, not about murder mysteries or anything, but there's a guy Rycon over in New Zealand, and he does these quasi like he'll play through Fallout, but he'll do it in character after fashion and make his own story, kind of follow along, first person kind of drama piece by piece. And he does a lot of other games where it's kind of light role play where he's got a story in mind and you follow what he's doing with his characters and all that kind of thing. I really like his Fallout series, and I really like his Fallout 4 Frost series. Is like hardcore mode, permadeath, little adventure things on there. With it's really cool. What about you guys, Satsu? What YouTube channels do you like to watch to keep you occupied?
Well, Satsu's in the kitchen, but if you're asking me...
I am asking you because you're squishy and you're better than Satsu. Don't tell him that.
I usually watch a lot of dance channels.
What's a dance channel?
You know, like watching like routines and choreography.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that, because I lack rhythm, so I just like to watch and pretend I have rhythm. And then I usually watch Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star pretty much.
What is it with those two and women?
Queens.
Do you take the makeup advice from Jeffree Star and try it on yourself?
No, because for me, I don't wear makeup anymore. And when I used to, it was never like I'm weird. Like I like to look at the heavy makeup, but I don't like it on myself.
Okay.
But like, I don't like when it's like, we can tell it's like super caked on and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I like watching them because they're just funny together. So I don't really watch for the makeup. I just watch more for like the comical stuff that's between them. Mm. And I've been watching Shane Dawson since he like started YouTube.
Yeah, I never really understood. I think the only time I ever watched anything to completion with Shane Dawson, it was when he and Blair White were interviewing each other or whatever. I've never quite understood what is the draw to Shane Dawson.
I don't know. There's just something about him that just lures you in. He just like he's like relatable. Like you could like be his friend type thing. Like he looks like he'd be fun to hang out with. You know?
Okay.
Squeetus, can you stop grabbing my neck, please?
But mommy, I like your neck.
Apparently.
Neck. What about you, Monkey? What are your top 2 or 3?
Well, to be honest, I don't watch very much YouTube anymore. Most of the time, if I'm at my desk, I'm either playing a video game, actually streaming, or reading news stuff, or fucking with people on Twitter, because that's what I do. I'll occasionally turn on I'm a fan of Crowder. Plus, he does long form, so I'll throw it on while I'm playing a video game.
Mm-hmm.
People who do long form content amuse, especially if they're funny. And yes, I find Crowder funny. He's actually interviewing Razor Fist as we speak. Damn it!
Oh, cool.
So
yeah, Razor Fist has got good stuff.
I love Razor Fist. I catch all of his videos.
Have you heard of Toad McKinley?
Oh, I know who Toad is. Yeah.
How about Beige Frequency?
That one doesn't sound familiar.
Beige Frequency, he doesn't have a lot of videos, but he's got all these very long, relatively long form little documentaries on various things like MMA lore and a particular character from the Opening Anthony show and comedy figures and things like that. And like really interesting stuff.
Today, while I was at the computer, I was actually watching old Johnny Carson clips.
There you go.
I like to catch old comedians on there. Let's see. There was a show with Jonathan. Jonathan Winters popped up on one of my recommended. He was on Carson. I was like, oh, this should be great. And I was watching that. And then they had one. It was actually 10 years after Mork and Mindy. Robin Williams and Jonathan Winters were on the same show.
Oh yeah, right. When they met each other, I saw that one.
It was amazing. It was a great show. So I watch silly stuff like that.
You know, watching those will come up in my feed sometimes, like old Johnny Carson clips or old clips from the Dick Cavett show. And just, I mean, regardless of who's on there, just watching some of those clips and just seeing how television and what is acceptable on TV has altered over the course of time. Not only like what they talked about when they get away with it.
Thank you, Steve.
What the hell was that?
That's one of her sounds she makes.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody had an incident or something.
Swedish just being a weirdo.
All right. Oh, what a cutie. But yeah, not only what they talk about as far as like just subject matter, but also clothing styles. I saw a clip or something where they had Frank Sinatra on there, and he was wearing the most god awful like 70s disco jumpsuit thing with the wide lapels, and he had his shirt halfway open with a gold chain. I thought, oh my god, that just that looks greasy, you know.
It's gross.
No, it was. I mean, I'm sure it was very stylish at the time, but man, Swedish. Let's see. Oh, if you like movie reviews of like really bad movies, there's a great little channel called Cynic Snacks. He's still relatively small, but his production value is really high, and he goes over like bargain basement movies and just some of the most ridiculous stuff. And he's got that sort of like happy, ironic British accent that makes everything much more entertaining. So go after that. Let's see. Oh, Mini a True Nerd. If you guys like, well, just like gameplay stuff and that kind of thing. This guy has done, I can't believe some of the series he's done. He was one of the first guys I ever saw that said, hey, can you get all the way through Fallout 3 on one health bar? All the DLCs and the entire main game without dying once. And if you do get hit, you're hit for the entire game without healing anything. It's like, and just watching how he has to do stuff and move around and kind of that stuff is amazing. And he does that with New Vegas and Fallout 4 and everything else. Plus, he's got tons and tons and tons of other content too. He's a really great guy to watch. And I don't know. So I'm looking on my list of subscriptions here. Oh, Jim Can't Swim. If you guys like, again, true crime or criminal psychology, Jim Can't Swim does all these really great documentaries using real police interrogation footage from really high-profile crimes and some not so high-profile, but are still interesting. He's the one guy I'm subscribed to on Patreon, and he only asks for like $1 a month. And he does all these like long-form documentaries on crimes and things. And he's got 36,000 patrons. So this guy's he's raking it in at $1 a month kind of thing. It's like, well, hell. Yeah, but he makes really good content. Thank you, Crappy Fisherman. Here's a random, completely out of nowhere topic, but what are the Lords of the Night's favorite conspiracy theories? I've never heard any of you talk about them. Oh, well, Monkey loves JFK. Right, Monkey? Did Monkey disappear? Did I lose Monkey again?
Monkey disappeared.
Anybody here?
Somehow I muted myself. I was answering you.
Okay.
Yes. The JFK ones are my favorite.
Conspiracy theories. I mean, I find the conspiracy theories entertaining. I don't adhere to many. I like hearing the different ways people have tried to solve mysteries of things or explain what's going on in the world. Yeah, I like the JFK one. There's a great book by what's his name? Bagala? What's his last name? I can't remember. No, Bugliosi. Sorry, Bugliosi. The guy who defended Charles Manson or prosecuted Charles Manson. He did a great book on I think it's called Reclaiming History. And it was chapter, and it's like a long book, but it went through every detail chronologically, everything recorded, documented about the JFK assassination, where Oswald was, where everybody was from point A to point B all the way down the road. And he makes a very compelling argument that there was no conspiracy theory. There was no other person. It was Oswald, and this is how it worked and everything else. And made a very, very compelling argument that, it couldn't have been anybody else and there wasn't any other influence. Now, whether you believe it or not, up to you. But he made a really good case. But hearing him go through all of the popular theories outside of it was just Oswald as a single guy, and show through the documented evidence of how that's couldn't work or wouldn't have happened, or that person wasn't in the country at that time or something like that. Those are interesting too. But outside of that, I don't know. I always like Roswell and Area 51 stuff when I was a kid. The X-Files really did that for me.
Oh, speaking of that, Scribe.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There's this YouTube channel I watch.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. They're not like a super big channel. They're kind of a small one. It's called Stardust.
Okay.
I guess they named it after the movie. So basically, it's these two chicks. And they're into like the energy and mediums and aliens and all this. So apparently the one main girl, she's married to an alien.
Oh.
And it gets better. And they live on the base in the desert in Nevada. Not her, the aliens. Uh-huh. And she trans channels him and her friends, like husband there too. And they're called the Sars. They're a form of the tall white aliens,
right?
And like they do a retreat every year where like they go and like they have close encounters with them, and they're basically like they said they're like working with our government to improve our planet, and they're the good ones, and it's really trippy, bro. You got to watch them.
What the hell are you talking about?
We're talking about YouTube channels we watch, and conspiracies got brought up, and Scribe mentioned aliens, and I watched this one channel called Stardust, and I'm in their Facebook group, and it's about aliens and shit. And don't judge me.
I'm not judging. I
sounded judgy.
To see if
yeah,
it
so
I'm not guarded, but
Husbands and Alien. That sounds like the plot of what was it? Out of This World, that &90s sitcom with the girl.
Yeah, but what's great about it is the girl when she does her trans channeling, basically she like lets them take over her body, and they through her. But it's not only them, like she'll do spirits. Like she did a video where she channeled Selena, and like it's like it's so interesting. Like even if you don't believe, you just can't turn the shit off. It's like
you ever heard of what was it? Ramtha? You ever heard of Ramtha?
I have not. What is that?
So it's some cult in Oregon. I'm not even making this up. Like as far as I know, they're still active right now. It's like in Oregon or something. And there's this lady, and I never forget her name. Her name is J.Z. Knight. Like it's J.Z. Knight. She is this woman who claims that she can channel this, I don't know, 20,000-year-old Sumerian warrior named Ramtha. And she talks in this voice, and I have got me. And she's got an entire a giant, like millions of dollars cult little compound thing off in the woods somewhere where she channels this spirit and has this whole religion going.
Well, I don't think it's like that because like the girl who does it, she's like a struggling artist. Like she's a substitute teacher and she's also like a novelist. Like she has some books that are published. And when they have the retreat, she always tries to find like the cheapest route. So she's not in it for the money. So she's either actually crazy or it's actually happening. And I'm like, I'm on for the ride.
Yeah, I'm not in it for the money, so I'm gonna be crazy.
I can't stop watching the videos. They're just so good.
No one nowhere says, "Oh, from What the Bleep Do We Know?" Yeah, okay. That movie was so bizarre. You guys don't know, if you have no idea, there was a documentary in the 90s, I think it was, and it was called What the Bleep Do We Know? And it positioned itself as some kind of like, I don't know, revelatory documentary about how the world works. There's new ways of looking at it or whatever else. And it starred what's her name? Marlee Matlin, the deaf actress.
Mhm.
And she was in it. And I think it was funded by Ramtha or the organization or whatever, because it was all this sort of new age string theory, sort of like, you know, that stuff where they take like quantum physics and they just make it into anything they want it to be. And it was just a very bizarre little doc, but it passed itself off so professionally. You would have thought it was something made by like PBS and Nova or something, but it wasn't. It was just like this gobbledygook new age religion stuff. But I saw that and I didn't know at the time who made it or anything else. I just saw the cover or whatever. I remember renting it or something. And I was like, that is so weird. And it wasn't until like a couple of years later that I think that was actually just before I had the internet. So I had no other source of information on where this stuff was coming from. Weird movie. It reminded me of Mind Walk. If you guys never seen Mind Walk, it's an interesting, similar in concept, but it's much more Hollywood production. It's God, who's the star of this? Is it John Hurt? I think it's John Hurt. Anyway, there's three people. Like it's a poet and a neurobiologist and some other person. They all happen to meet up at this weird castle tourist attraction in France, and then the whole movie is them walking around, looking at all this architecture and things, and talking about these broad concepts of reality and life and the universe and all this other stuff. It's much more cerebral and a little bit more understandable than the Ramtha thing. But if you can find a copy of Mind Walk somewhere, I don't claim that it's got some accurate stuff in it per se, but it has some interesting questions asked. Now I'm just going over my video store memory now.
I'm back, by the way.
All right, well, now that you're back, I'll ask you, what YouTube channels do you watch to stave off boredom from time to time?
I've been watching a lot of speed runs. Just GDQ speed runs, or just Resident Evil speed runs in particular. I've been watching. Those have been some good background noise. Korean street vendor channels for some reason, just like, or just Asian street vendor channels in general, just like all these people making food in bulk. Like I have to find myself watching those all the time, and that's more of a ASMR thing than like I'm actually watching it. Just the sounds of shit being made is like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just interesting to watch and nice to listen to. Obviously, I've still watch the Game Grumps every now and then. Been watching them, and there was another channel that I can't think of right now that I've been watching. I gotta remember what it's called. But yeah, just that kind of stuff, really.
For speedruns, there's a really great little channel. The channel is just the guy's name, Karl Jobst, or Jobst, KarlJobst. He does these mini little documentaries on specific speedruns or how different methods to break records are done in different games. He's got a lot of stuff on like GoldenEye and Mario 64 and Doom and Link and all these things about how people have tried to break these records. Like and he's got like this one Doom speed run where it's like, how can you get what's the fastest you can get through the first level? of the original Doom game, and it shows like people getting it down to like 22 seconds or something, and he shows it on the channel, like how it progressed from here was the original like speed run, and now see how people it's a whole documentary of how these different speed runners broke down different games into little parts. And then he also talks about scandals like fake speed runs or con artists and speedrun community and stuff like that. I always find that really interesting.
Yeah, I saw a video like that for Zelda games.
Mm-hmm.
Going through, and he was talking about the evolution of runs and how they progressed over time, and how this was found and who found that, and
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same channel, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh, it could be. I don't know. I mean, there's only so many out there that do this kind of stuff. There's very sort of particular kind of things. Who else? Oh, Mitten Squad. As far as like weird game challenges, if you look up Mitten Squad, this guy does things like, can you beat Fallout 3 as a baby?
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
Well, so he uses
You
code.
just scroll through and never.
Yeah, basically, he's just like he uses a code to say, okay, I'm not going to advance past that part in the story where you actually grow up. So you start out with all of the limitations and the situation of being a baby, and see if you can get through the whole game with those limitations from the game.
Yeah, I know what channel you're talking. I watched that channel. His voice, that like monotone kind of voice that he jokes that he makes, man, that I actually watch quite a bit of that. I'm subscribed to that.
His jokes. I mean, he lays out these funny little tidbits as he's describing what's going on in the world with such ease. You don't even notice it's a joke for a second. You think maybe he's screwed up, and then you think about it. He's like, oh, he's really funny. I like him a lot.
I love that channel.
Yeah, that guy's good. Let's see. I'm going down my list here. Who else I got? Well, Red Letter Media. I've talked about Red Letter Media for a long time now. If you guys like movies and just completely savage humor about Hollywood and everything else, check out Red Letter Media. Everything on there is just about. I mean, there's might be the video out there or whatever, but for the most part, that stuff is just hilarious. Those guys are so funny, so funny. What else? I'm looking down here. You know what's something that's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine?
What's that?
These weird, like, I don't know how to describe them. They're not like music videos per se, but they're sort of like extended fan trailers of specific movies or characters or something set to like music. It's like a really dramatic sort of like
AMV or whatever.
Sort of. I don't know how to. So there's a channel. It's a weird name, and I'm going to spell it out because it's not like it's Slifer 2812. So it's SLYFER 2812. And this guy takes clips from specific movies or like Marvel stuff, and he'll set it to like dramatic music as sort of like a character profile in dramatic fashion of all these little clips, and he'll sort of link them together with music and that kind of stuff. And I mean, your mileage may vary depending on what the subject matter is from video to video, but he does his editing skills and the way that he puts stuff together and sort of tells a story all by itself by focusing on this one aspect of the character. Like there's this one he talks about, it's just about Thor, and it just tells more or less Thor's arc from how he was like the arrogant kid and everything, all the way through to when like it's his fault the world died kind of deal, and then his redemption at the end. But he links it all up with these very key scenes and music, and it sort of tells a little mini story of that character and his sort of a situation. And there's all types of stuff like that. But yeah, if you check out that channel, like I said, guilty pleasure, they're usually no more than about 4 or 6 minutes long, depending. They got stuff from Game of Thrones characters and Marvel and John Wick and all types of crazy stuff. But
I was just looking at my history. Apparently, there was a time where I watched like 15 restoration videos.
Those I love. Oh my God. TizzyTube and Odd Tinkering and TPG, I think it's TPG Restoration, where these guys like just find these rusty old piles of garbage, and then they go so meticulously to restore it back to like pristine condition.
Mhm.
I can't get enough of those. It depends. There's specific channels that I like to watch, but those are just amazing. Because my dad always had a workshop in the house when I was a kid, and he'd always be tinkering with stuff. And just watching that stuff kind of reminds me of watching him work in the workshop. I think maybe that's my sort of connection to it or whatever. But I just love those things.
Yeah, Awesome Restorations and Restoration Scrap were the two ones that apparently I was watching. There's like 15 videos here. I remember watching most of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's just fascinating to watch, man. And it's so much. Like I watched this dude take the what are those the cement breakers or whatever, the drills. Not that well, it's not really a drill, but
Jackhammer?
yeah, jackhammer. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. He literally took that bitch apart, screw by screw, like the entire thing, and put it back together after restoring it. I was like, holy fuck.
There's just one. I think there's a couple of them. There's one. I forget which one it is, but there's this one guy. Like he'll take apart some rusty old thing, like let's say just a desk fan or whatever, and he takes it all apart. He lays out all the parts, and then he examines each one. He finds, okay, this screw is too rusted to use. I make a new one, and you watch him make a screw from scratch. Yeah. He like takes a tube of solid metal, puts it into his lathe thing, and he whittles it down to an exact replica of the screw that he can't actually have to make sure it fits with everything and is exactly as it was when it was first made. And it's just like, holy cats, man. Just the effort you go to for like little screws or making his own washers that they're the exact same size and all that stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, that stuff's fascinating.
Yeah.
Now, I've never watched any of those, but I did get hooked for a little while on the people who they basically real life do what we do in 7 Days to Die. These guys who this one guy, he like built this hut out of nothing but dirt and shit. And he builds this really neat hut that has a heated floor in it.
Wow.
He builds his own like little forge there and his own I forget what they're called, where he can like treat stone so that it actually turns into durable stone.
Oh, a kiln?
Yeah, a kiln. Thank you.
He was on last year's YouTube Rewind, I think.
Was he? He does amazing stuff. And there's a bunch of other channels that do it, and they're not as interesting because it's just him. It just goes out in the woods. And like he built this one that got devastated, so he just rebuilt it somewhere else. It's really cool stuff, man.
See, that reminds me of Les Stroud, Survivor Man. One the only survival TV show I think that is worthy of the name, because this guy just goes out in the middle of nowhere by himself. He has to film his own footage. He's got no one around and nobody else to rely on but himself. And Les Stroud is an absolute superhero. That guy's amazing.
Yeah, Monkey, I think that other one that you might have mentioned was the two like younger boys. They make like pools or whatever. They make all these extravagant outside pools or whatever with just their hands and sticks and shit.
I ran into them because they actually do some pretty cool stuff too. But I don't know. There seems like it could be a little more manipulated than his does.
Thank you. This is Kyle. Hello, chat people and Lawton. Hello, but this is Kyle. Thank you.
Lawton.
Let's see. Somebody said in there like weird stuff. A channel, if you really want to see like weird stuff, somebody who tracks down like internet mysteries and sort of creepypasta stuff, or just like mysteries of YouTube, or like weird videos that look like something creepy is going on. The channel's called Rainbot, REIGNBOT. Name has nothing to do with the content effectively, but she like explains like all these weird like cult conspiracy theories on videotapes that are sort of famous for being, is this a videotape of an actual murder kind of thing? And she tracks down all the information on it. She goes over weird characters and like obscure YouTube videos that look like they're, I don't know, somebody's filming something bizarre. It's kind of hard to explain, but she goes over some really creepy stuff, creepypasta kind of things. I
found it in my history of the channel. Yeah, it's called Primitive Technology. And I threw it in chat if anybody's interested. This is, I mean, it's basically the stuff we do on 7 Days to Die, but this guy does it in real life. It's really cool stuff.
Let's see. If you like, and I use that, carefully because it can sometimes get a little brutal. If you like real life police activity type stuff, like body cams and all that, I got 3 channels for you to check out. There's Police Activity, all one word. There's Video Leak Police, and then there's Real World Police. And sometimes those 3 channels have crossover of the same videos because when they get released by police organizations, they just become sort of, out in the public. But there is some crazy car chases and shootouts and all types of stuff. I mean, buyer beware on that stuff because sometimes, usually it's blurred out, but occasionally it's not so much blurred out, and there's some pretty raw stuff in there. But sort of guilty pleasure sort of kind of stuff. Gallows
TV shit. Is it like that band? Those banned from TV DVDs?
Yeah, it's a couple. Yeah, I actually own those on tape. That's how old I am. I got the original banned from television trilogy on tape somewhere in my apartment in a drawer somewhere. And there are clips on there I've never been able to find again, even on YouTube. There's this one of like this family's like filming hot air balloons out in some field somewhere. And the guy's got his camcorder out because it's back in the day. And he follows this one as it drifts towards power lines.
Ooh.
And he watches hit the power lines. There's this flash of light and there's a burst of flame. And basically the ropes holding the basket to the balloon just zap away and the basket falls to earth.
Oh.
And now the distance he's at, you can't really see anything. You know what I mean? You can see the basket fall and that, but it's just like, it's brutal. It's really brutal. Like, oh my God. And I forget if they actually say in there, like, what were the results? Did anybody survive? That kind of thing. But it's just like, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, man, that stuff that was the one. You got the one where they show people dying, or is it just really bad accidents? Because the one that I had, like, people were dying. Like,
oh no, there's footage of like there was a police standoff, and you see a guy's, well, basically the top of his head disappears, and it's uncensored, brutal stuff in there sometimes too.
Yeah,
bad stuff. In a similar but fictional vein, there's a couple of channels I like to watch for. They basically deal with like stealth games and being like totally crazy with stealth stuff. Schwifty Unknown, that's the name of the channel. Schwifty Unknown. There's got a lot of videos on there. He'll do like these Far Cry 3, 4, and 5 videos where he does the craziest like Rube Goldberg kind of little missions. Like he'll go to a base. If you guys know what Far Cry is, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, well, sorry. He'll like sneak up on a base, go over to one of the ATVs, right? And he'll plant like 3 different plastic explosives on the back of the ATV in very specific areas. And then he'll go around the base, taking out guy after guy after guy without getting detected. And then there'll be this like one last guy who's all by himself with no one around. He's kind of just standing there. And then he'll throw a rock at the guy's head. Right. And the guy will turn around like, what? And then he'll blow up the C4. And then off on the other side of the screen, you'll see this ATV arc up in the air and falls straight down on the guy's head. And then he beats the base. It's amazing. I mean, and that's just like the simplest example I can give you. There's so many other crazy things. Like he'll be flying in on a paraglider, drop off of it, and air stealth one guy while the hang glider itself falls and kills another guy. It's crazy. Yeah, that stuff. And there's another guy who does those things. His channel is Game Killer 346, and they almost all of them specialize in like stealth games, like Dishonored, Wildlands, what else? The Tom Clancy game. What's that called again? Shit, the Splinter Cell. All that stuff. Far Cry. Yeah. There's one. I think it's Game Killer does Splinter Cell stuff, and that guy's he's a beast. It's just like, how do you do that? I remember playing those games. Like, damn. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, we've gone far longer than probably should have. So we'll do MSS News now, guys. Thank you for indulging me. I just want to talk about something that's fun and not something that's sad for a little while. So we'll move on to MSS News. So guys, if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise to get to them all, but I'll do quite a few tonight because it's an odd night. And after my month-end stuff and everything else, hey, it's my show. Right? It's my night.
Indeed.
Telling myself, I'm trying to make myself feel better.
So when the police show up, the point.
Right. This one comes from Desert Tramp. Let's see. Let me minimize that so I still keep an eye on chat. Police Department. Chandler man. I'm assuming that is a town or a county or something. Chandler man arrested for murder in alleged accidental shooting of wife. Okay. Chandler, Arizona. A man has been arrested in Chandler after allegedly shooting and killing his wife at their home near Price Road and Chandler Boulevard. Officers say Jordan Taylor, 30, accidentally shot his 27-year-old wife in the chest while clearing a rifle. Well, he did that wrong. Chandler police say they received a call from Taylor around 7:50 a.m. indicating he shot his wife on accident. When officers arrived on the scene, they found the woman with a gunshot wound to her chest and 2 children in the residence. Don't point your gun at anything you're not intending to shoot at. Just don't.
Yep.
That's the rule. Even whether you're cleaning it, whether you're carrying it, whatever. Do not point your gun at anything you're not intending to kill. Don't know what to tell you. This one comes from Peter Stewart. Man allegedly teaching his dog to drive, arrested after high-speed chase.
Well, then.
Please tell me it was a seeing eye dog. That would make me so happy. A man was arrested Sunday after leading troopers on a high-speed chase with his dog sitting in the driver's seat, a spokeswoman for the Washington State Patrol said. The man from Lakewood, Washington, hit 2 cars on separate occasions and failed to stop both times, leading state troopers on a high-speed chase up Interstate 5. No major injuries were reported in either crash. Quote, he was driving very erratically, so erratically that multiple people called 911, Trooper Heather Axtman told CNN. The suspect was driving absolutely recklessly, and a pursuit ensued at 175 kilometers, or 109 miles an hour, because this is a story out of Canada. One of the troopers attempted to corner the suspect's car, looked inside, and realized a pit bull was sitting in the driver's seat while the suspect steered. That's not teaching your dog to drive. I hate to tell you that. If you're steering the dog, yeah.
Well, the way the headline read made it seem like he successfully taught his dog how to drive because it led to a high-speed chase.
As he was trying to evade troopers, the suspect drove onto Centennial Trail, a trail for pedestrians and bicyclists in, I've seen this word before, Snohomish County? Snohomish, right? People. Known for being busy, according to Axman. Quote, the fact that there wasn't anybody on the trail is nothing shy of miraculous, she said. We are very thankful. Eventually, troopers were able to use spike strips to end the pursuit. During the arrest, Axman said the suspect gave them one explanation. He was, quote, trying to teach his dog how to drive. That's not good. Sorry, guys, 1 second here. Oh. Shit. Okay, well, I have to leave. I will be silent. I will mute myself so the stream doesn't die, but I can't stay, guys. I'm sorry. Bye for now.
We'll see you when you get back. Can you read them tonight, dude?
Let's see here. Sorry, I'm eating. Let me that's what I was doing while Squishy was in here. I was finishing up dinner because I started it late. So let's pull up snooze real quick. Where the fuck is the? Oh, there we go. Oh. Now he was just reading a story about what again?
Dog driving a car.
Okay. All right. We got one from Froggy. A forest submerged 60,000 years ago could save your life one day. Creatures in this underwater forest could save your life. What? That don't make sense. It was 6 a.m. the dock on Tuesday in December. On a Tuesday in December, and the weather did not look promising. Fog hovered over the water, and the engine of the research vessel E.O. Wilson rumbled. Our ship disappeared into the mist at 7:30. The crew, a team of biologists and chemist, and microbiologist, reached its destination. The sun lounged on obsidian water, making a secret. Can we get to the fucking point here?
Probably
I
not.
hate when stories start like that. Like, shut the fuck up and tell me what the fuck I'm reading about. Underwater forest is not a metaphor. This is a coral reef or a seagrass bed that resembles the surface of woodlands, but a bona fide trees with roots and leaves for thousands of years. About 2 football fields long and 5 feet wide. So how is this going to save our lives? It's underwater. I'm confused.
We'll all live underwater?
We're going to be fish people, guys. That's the end result of Corona. We're all going to turn into fish people. Like, I'm looking at some of the stuff they pulled out of the water, and it looks, like the stuff that they pulled out of here, this looks like wood. So I've never even heard of an underwater forest before, but apparently it's a thing, and it's going to save us. I'm not sure how, but that's the gist of that. There's a lot of fluff and bullshit in here that I ain't trying to sift through. All right. So that's cool. Whenever the world ends, remember the ocean forest. It might save you. Let's see. Idaho, Montana rocked by large earthquake. When was this? Let's find out. This was posted less than an hour ago, says. A large earthquake struck northeast Boise, Idaho on Tuesday. Tuesday evening, a strong earthquake rocked Idaho on Tuesday evening. It was felt by residents from Nevada to Montana. Holy shit.
Oof.
Yeesh. The quake, which was given a preliminary rating of 6.5 by the U.S. Geological Survey, struck 78 miles northeast of Boise at 5:52 local time. Hundreds of residents reported to the USGS they felt the shaking. Holy fuck! There's a lot of videos on here from people's social media pages, I guess, like showing the tremors or whatever.
Damn.
That's insane. Anybody in chat live nearby there? That's crazy. I'm sure it was Trump's fault.
He makes the earth shake.
Yeah, if you guys live out there, be safe, because that ain't no joke. All right, let's see here. Who's coming to aid the undocumented workers amid the restaurant closures and layoffs? Oh boy. Salon's got their priorities straight.
Of course.
They're thinking about the important things. We're focused on stupid shit like legal residence and that type of stuff. The American restaurant industry depends on the work of millions of undocumented immigrants. That sounds like something that needs to be investigated.
Right? Like maybe we should be checking green cards at the door.
Like that sounds like a problem. Actually. I mean, see, the problem with articles like this, or just the term undocumented immigrant in general, is it encompasses literally every single form of an undocumented immigrant you can be. regardless of your situation, or if you're in the process of getting a green card, if or something like that, anything that could possibly make you legal, if you're on that path to do so, you get bunched in with everybody else regardless. So when talking about this, it's easy for people to point the finger at you and be like, you're a fucking racist or something like that, because you're just like, yeah, they're undocumented. And then they bring up these very specific examples of people they know who are in very unique situations because they're actually following, what they're supposed to be following. It's just taking a long time for it to process. And they're like, oh, you saying fuck those people? I'm like, no, I'm not talking about those people. Which is why I don't really like talking about this anymore. Because it is a landmine conversation. It's a minefield, not worth stepping onto, in my opinion. But anyway, from farmers to food suppliers, kitchen staff, for the kitchen staff to stay running, but as many states have mandated the closure or reduction of services provided by restaurants as a way to limit the spread of the novel coronavirus. Many undocumented employees are facing layoffs and uncertain futures without any form of social safety net.
Well, maybe they shouldn't be here undocumented.
Ricardo Rodriguez is a chef and owner of Whisk in Chicago. Rodriguez was born in Mexico City and was brought to the U.S. without papers when he was 7 years old. I'm 35 now, so all of my life I grew up here. Isn't this there's another name for these people, right? Who were brought over here when they were kids but are allowed to stay here now?
The DACA folks, yes.
Okay, can you just slap the undocumented immigrant label on them? Like, don't they fall in their own little bracket?
Well, that depends on whether or not he went through the process of actually getting and maintaining his DACA status.
Huh.
Because you have to take certain precautions if you're undocumented.
Right. It says the first year that DACA was passed, I applied and got government and got approval because I met all the requirements. I was here before I was 15 and had no criminal records. DACA was a policy approved by President Barack Obama in 2012 that allowed some undocumented individuals who were brought into the country as children to receive a 2-year period of deferred action from deportation and become eligible for a work permit. Wait, 2-year period of deferred action? That was it? I thought it was longer than that.
Well, it's 2 years, but they can re-up for it to make sure they keep receiving it over and over and over again.
Okay, so all right, it says as a DACA recipient, Rodriguez will be eligible for unemployment insurance like the over 3 million people who applied last week, and could be eligible for the $1,200 relief checks as a part of COVID stimulus package, but undocumented kitchen workers are not. So wait a minute, we just spent all this time talking about somebody who is going to be taken care of and is going to be fine.
Yeah. As an example of why you need something else. Yes, undocumented, if you're here illegally, yeah, you can't get the stimulus check. Oops. Maybe you should go back to your home country and see if they give you one.
Could you imagine the dude who snuck into your house hiding in the basement, come upstairs like, whoa, what the fuck? You cooked dinner and didn't offer me any?
Right,
What kind of shit is that? Like, well, the world from Ferg, dude, we were just talking about your ass. Look, fucking Scribe be conjuring motherfuckers up, dude. You're just asking where the fuck you've been and how you've been, and you just pop up today. I swear that was yesterday, right? We just talked about Ferg.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
That's so funny. The motherfucker felt the disturbance in the force. He just showed up.
Yeah. What was that, right before the show yesterday? He asked if anybody'd seen Ferg. It's good to see you, bud. I hope you're well. I've
been being a nurse and having kids. All right. but it's good to see you. Let's see here. Shrouded Angel, 6 months in jail, $11,000 fine for leaving home without a reasonable excuse. Uh-oh.
Ouch.
Uh-oh. This almost sounds like what people have been begging people to do, or begging the government to do. They won't do anything about people leaving. Okay, well, here it is.
I have a problem with an actual law against people leaving their home, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I do too. But people are begging for it. Like, they want it really bad. And then stuff like this comes on. They're like, that's ridiculous. It's like, this is what happens. When you tell the government you want them to do something about people leaving their house, then they do shit about it. It ain't never what you want, but they'll do something about it. You keep bitching at the government, telling them they're not doing enough. You guys need to make people stay home. Well, how are we going to do that? I know how. There you go. The public health order, which enacts Sunday's recommendation of the National Cabinet, gives police a sweeping power to enforce the latest round of restrictions designed to limit the spread of the coronavirus. And this is in Australia, by the way, guys. Which I haven't seen a whole lot of that coming from Australians, but it's definitely a sentiment that's been happening a lot here, which is weird because we can see these articles.
Yep.
We can read. We're reading it right now. This is what happens when you beg your government to do this type of shit. The only difference is a lot of these places ain't nobody asking the government to do it. They're just fucking doing it. Interesting. Under the Public Health Act, individuals can be fined up to $1,100. So I think this person got straight like the max, or sent to prison for 6 months, or both. Holy fuck! For breaching the ministerial directives. They can also be fined another $5,500 for each day the offense continues. Bruh. Good Lord. Y'all motherfuckers better stay in the house.
Well, we just had that preacher arrested yesterday.
Yeah, yep.
Here in the States, so.
Mm-hmm.
The World of Ferg, thank you so much for the donation. Scribbles would be here to say thank you, but he had to run real fast. So thank you for the donation.
Preach.
And seriously, it's good to see you, bud.
Man. The decision has been made to affect the level of authority vested in the NSWPF. Commissioner, Commissioner, and to increase the public confidence in the government support to the NSW Health Organization. Yeesh.
Thank you, Ferg, so much. Sorry, guys. I have to be doing work right now, so I'm going to stay here. I'll have my mic on. You're going to hear me typing. I can't avoid it because I have to do work. So I'm still here, and I'll try to participate as much as I can, but I'm going to be distracted for at least another 10 minutes or so. So apologies for that.
Bud, we got this.
I know. I just want to make sure nobody thinks I just disappeared off the face of the earth. That's all that's going on. And
we'll answer the question. We're like, how come Scribe ain't talking? We'll be like, because he thinks you're a bitch.
Well, don't give away the whole plot. Jesus. All right.
Go do your shit, man. We got this.
I'm still here. Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't like the notion of punishing people with like laws, but getting to the corona stuff, guys, we got to jump into it a little bit, and I'll get to it further in the fucketry area. But staying home, they're telling you over and over, everybody's telling you, keep your ass inside. Keep your ass inside. Lady Monkey had to go shopping today. We're running out of some stuff. So she ran out, got stuff, came right back. And it was cool. You know what she said, Satsu? Mm-hmm. The most of the shelves were full. Mm-hmm. The pasta aisle and the canned food aisle was empty. And, of course, toilet paper still. Guys, relax. Seriously. If you're shitting yourself that much, maybe you need some Pepto-Bismol. But, yeah, so it's calming down where I live. where she said there were only a few people. It was funny. She said if you got near anybody, they'd move away from you.
Yeah.
I'd have had to test that out. It's for real.
The way they got it at one of the stores nearby me is there's dividers between the cashiers and the people buying stuff now. And there's a 6-foot divider between people standing in line.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, it ain't fucking around.
But I do have a problem with the government saying, nope, you can't do it. You're never going to be able to legislate away stupid.
Yeah.
Taking somebody's freedom for just wanting to get out of the fucking house seems like a bad idea.
The weird part is, like, this is the part that really kills me because I don't sympathize with the government often. But this is an interesting situation where you have the government who wants absolute control and power, but they know they can't have it. But now people are begging them to take it, and they know they want to, but they know they shouldn't. But they're telling them that they need to do something about it. Like, you need to do something because that could possibly get them voted out. So they're like, look.
No. I was going to say, if you think that's bad, so I think it was Dankula or somebody, or it was Tail, that tweeted it today. And I don't know who the personality is, so to speak, with some politician, I believe over in Scotland. And they said that due to coronavirus, we are now going to have non-jury trials for the interim or something to that effect. And I was just like, you're what? And then this person got I'm jumping into fucketry a little bit here. Sorry, just because it came to mind here. This person got all this shit from people, right? It's like, oh my God, how can you possibly do that? Blah, 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 blah. And here, let me, just because I'm already throwing things off, let me find it here real quick because it's just kind of amazing what it is. Okay. If the insinuation is that the government is supportive of trials without juries, then I would refute that in the strongest possible terms. I have a responsibility to the accused, to victims, and to the administration of justice. All responsibilities I do not take lightly. And I said, but if the government is not supportive of trials without juries, then why are you announcing that there will be trials without juries? It just, what? But yeah, this person is, let me make sure, they are Scotland's Justice Minister. Yeah, Justice Minister saying, yeah, so we're going to start having non-jury trials for the interim.
You know, and the thing is, we don't need to do that.
No, well, they don't, we don't, nobody needs to really do that.
With the technology we have today, a lot of this shit should still be possible.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so maybe the guy's cruising Facebook when he's supposed to be listening to the judge. At least you have an impartial jury. There's ways that this shit could be still set up, and yeah, it's that's the kind of shit. And as you said, Satsu, I do sympathize with the government here because they are in a no-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
You have people demanding that they do something, and then being pissed off when they do the only thing the government really can do
is take control. It's an interesting. Not speaking of what you guys just mentioned, though. I saw there was like a picture of like an email that was connected to like a bunch of DMs, and apparently this dude was he was either in a conference call or doing some type of online class where a whole bunch of people were like their desktops or other stuff were like visible or whatever. And the one dude said, we saw that you minimized your desktop, but unfortunately your audio is still available and everybody here knows you're watching porn. So here's here's some instructions on how to do this and set it up to where we don't have to hear that. Also, yeah, don't do that.
Wow.
It's like,
yeah.
Oops. That is fucked up. Man, I can't think of many things more embarrassing than that. Jesus Christ.
Well, there was one I saw where they were having some kind of like group online meeting or whatever with like Skype or whatever the hell they were using. And so the screen was just all these, it was sort of like the bad guy's TV room with all the little screens of everybody's faces on there. And there's one down in the corner where you just see like a lot of movement going on. And then you see that it's in a bathroom. And then the camera is like set on the ground while everybody's talking on this conference call. and the camera's filming this girl as she sits down on the toilet to go to the bathroom.
What?
And everybody on the couch is going like, hey, Cindy, you might want to turn off the camera. And then you just hear this, oh shit. And then it goes black. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Oh man. Be careful, guys. Be
Yeah.
careful. It ain't just the FBI that can be some of the shit you do.
Let's go on to YouTube time and move on to other stuff. So, guys, thank you so much for all the stories. Sorry to get into them all. It's kooky night, so many ways. But now on to YouTube time. I'll go first because I have very little to talk about. You're looking at it. This is my YouTube time today. I do have prepared a video for another TED Excellence stream tomorrow, hopefully, regarding sustainability through social justice. What does that mean? I have no idea, but I am dying to find out. So I will try to give as much warning tomorrow as I can on Twitter, because YouTube's not going to tell you much of anything. So again, I'll be aiming for somewhere between 11 a.m. to around 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. So just keep an eye on your Twitter in that range, and I'll post a notice with at least a half hour's notice. And that's all I got. Satsu, what do you got?
Well, that video I uploaded, I think it was like 5 days ago or whatever, on my cooking channel was a katsu ramen bowl. It was like chicken katsu ramen. Took that sexy ass picture. Man, that was a good fucking picture. my fucking food photography skills are like getting pretty good. But I actually released a video today to show you how to make the katsu specifically for the ramen. So that video is up and out. The ramen egg video will be next. That video will be coming out tomorrow probably. I'm not gonna wait like 5 days to do that one because it's relatively short. There's not a lot to it. So that video will be out for you guys. I also am thinking of releasing 2 more quarantine anime videos. One for funny shows and another one for slice of life ones. Still haven't decided yet, but been contemplating on that. And we did a 7 Days to Die stream yesterday. We had our horde night, and we didn't die. Yeah. It was crazy though. It was insane. That fucking horde night did not go as planned, but we didn't die. So we've decided that we're going to try to salvage what was left of the base and see if we can try it again, because I feel like there was a couple errors we made that we can do it better this time. So we'll see how it works out. I don't know exactly when that next stream is going to be. Usually our data stream is on Friday, but Resident Evil 3 is coming out, and I'm gonna have to be playing that, son. But I might be doing that during the day. So we'll see. We shall see. I will let you guys know how all that's going to work out by then. And that's all I've been up to.
All right. Monkey, what have you been up to?
After the game stream, I did a Monkey in the Morning, which was a lot of fun. Just shitting on stupid people, because that's what I do. I don't think I did another game stream, did I? No, I went to bed. And then now I'm here. What did you do?
I already said what I did.
Not a motherfucking thing.
Yeah, I didn't do much. This, you're looking at it. This is what I'm doing.
Why don't I remember that?
I don't know, because I talked about it at length and how this is what I'm doing and the TED Excellence thing I'm going to do tomorrow, and that's it. So
I have literally no memory of that.
Okay, well, I'm going to do a TED Excellence tomorrow if things line up on sustainability through social justice.
I just went full Biden.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, then, well, we will move on to fucketry. And I already talked about one. The only other thing I think I had to share was a photograph that Chris Eliza tweeted out of a new hoodie he's acquired. And on this hoodie is printed the words, America needs journalists.
Mm.
And I sent back to him, let me know when you come across one, Chris Eliza.
Nice.
And that is the totality of my fuckatry. So Satsu, what do you have?
Well, I got Smeckledorfed over on Facebook. I was scrolling down, looking through shit, and I saw a green bag of Doritos while I was scrolling down, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Because I thought guacamole Doritos came back. No, they're fucking Mountain Dew flavored Doritos. And I'm just like, what is this abomination? Why?
No, wrong, bad, wrong.
I'm like, what would you do this to me for, you fucking assholes? Why? Just bring them back. I want them. I need them in my life.
Just to know, guys, I can't see the chat while I'm doing this work stuff. So if something comes up, please let me know.
I got super excited, man. I think Jen was telling me they still got them in Canada or some shit. Got guacamole Doritos. Please, just bring them back. Just sell them to me for like a week. I'll buy as many as I can, and then you can discontinue them again. And somebody in the comments said, "Let me find out that guacamole Doritos come back, and I'm busting through the front doors of a gas station like the Kool-Aid Man." I'm telling you, boy, it's going down. That was very disappointing for me today. Like waking up from a really good dream that felt so real, and you were like, "Wow, things are really good," and then you wake up and you're like, "Oh, real life, damn it." I saw a post today, a very interesting one over on Black Facebook, because you guys know I like to tiptoe over to Black Facebook and Black Twitter to see what's going on with my.
When you say Black Facebook, it's just like this is the place where a bunch of white people put shoe polish all over their faces.
Yeah, it's
Black Facebook.
It's a Justin Trudeau gathering.
The Justin Trudeau photo album, Black
That's
Facebook.
Right. Yeah. But I peeked over there a little bit to see what was going on, and there was a very long thread about the it was about Black people nodding at each other in public.
Nodding?
Yes. Now,
nodding?
No, like just nodding your head at somebody.
Yeah, I know the nod.
Oh.
Okay. I thought you meant. I didn't know if you meant. It's so bizarre of a notion. Like, what do you mean, nodding?
No.
Okay.
And basically, the conversation started. It was a meme, and it was like the look on my face when I nod at another Black person and they don't nod back. And everybody in the chat or in the area was testifying about like how they don't trust motherfuckers who don't do it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why would you not? You know, it's an unspoken rule. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? And then I thought about it. I really thought about it. And I thought back to when I used to live in the hood. It was kind of a thing that you just did instinctively.
Okay.
But I didn't do it like because it was just like, oh, another Negro, nod. Like, no, it was just like, hi, I see you. I acknowledge you. Don't stab me. Like, I know you're fucking here. I'm paying attention.
Isn't it just I see you? Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of like a hi.
Almost like a just, but in reality though, once I thought about it more, I do that to everybody. Almost to the point of awkwardness. Like I found myself walking past somebody who like had their headphones on or whatever, and I wasn't really looking at them. And then I look up and I nod, and they just keep walking because they didn't even look at me at all. And I'm just like, oh, that was dumb. Like I feel stupid because that just, But that's just a general thing that I do. And that's what I thought it was. But apparently it's like this unspoken rule that Black people are supposed to follow. I didn't know.
What is it supposed to mean other than just sort of like, what's up or hi?
Well, what some people were saying is it's a solidarity thing, is to let them know.
Oh, okay.
Like, I know what you're going through. It's like, but you don't. You have no idea.
You know, that reminds me of that bit from that Dave Chappelle thing way back when, where it's like he was talking about how he was on a plane, or he was telling some scenario or something where he's like on a plane, and suddenly some guys break in and say, you know, we're hijacking this plane, and then he looks over at the only other black guy there on the plane, and they nod at each other, and he's like, uh-huh, and it's like, we know they're not going to take us hostage. We're not white. It's just like,
yeah. It's like I said, and one of the points that I brought up when I commented in this group is I'm just like, that sure is a monolithic type of tribal practice that you kind of got there. For people who don't like stereotypes and who don't like being thrown, you know, put in a group and treated like we're all the same. Yeah. That seems kind of weird to make a necessity for literally every black person you encounter. And nobody commented, but a lot of people liked it. And I'm just like, I see there are some people here who agree with me. Well, like, isn't it weird? Like, this almost made me do a video today on my channel.
You should.
Almost did a video about it. The contradiction of people like, treat us differently. We're not all the same or whatever. These stereotypes are harmful. Who are just like, you're not black if you don't do this thing that all other blacks are supposed to do. Like, what? I'm a little lost as to how you can say both of those things at the same time. But yeah, I might still do a video on that. We'll see.
I think you should.
No, let's see. Fucking nodding. Shit is ridiculous. Anyway, that's my fucking treat.
All right, Monkey, what do you got?
Oh dear Lord, I'm gonna have to pare it down some.
No, you're fine. You got 10 minutes. Go for it.
Oh no, I got 2 hours with this.
Oh, okay.
This was Trans Day. The Trans Day of Visibility.
Ooh.
The what?
Yeah.
Trans Day of Visibility.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Okay.
And I just want to point out, for those of you who don't understand this, most trans people, the ones who aren't in it for the pats on the back and are actually, trans, they don't want you to be pointing them out. See, they want to be seen as the man or the woman they transitioned into, and that's it. They don't want you to go, hey, look, there's one of the weird ones.
Right.
You just, that's actually a little bit cruel, you fucking idiots. You're just reminding them that they aren't what they were born into, or what they feel like, you dumb motherfuckers. But I have to virtue signal. Yeah, because you're a fucking idiot. But I'm the mean one. I'm the transphobe, you guys. Where are we at next? CNN today decided not to cover Donald Trump's press conference.
I saw that.
Okay.
That was so bizarre. Like, what was the justification for that, or what was the reasoning?
Well, they've just decided that people don't want to see it because there have been some people complaining. And so CNN, they're like, we're not covering it anymore.
You didn't see that before, Scribe? That hashtag was trending for almost a whole day. It was like, stop airing Donald Trump. And
I saw that, but I did see that. I thought that was like things that like Kathy Griffin was complaining about. I didn't know it was a CNN initiative.
Well, CNN decided to pick it up and run with it as a network policy.
Right. There was a lot of high-profile journalists and all kinds of people like putting on that train.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah.
I missed that part.
And then about 30 minutes in, they had to jump in because there was interesting stuff going on.
Fucking idiot.
And but Oliver Darcy tweeted out, oh shit, where is it? That's not the right one. I have a couple from Oliver Darcy. Where's the other one? This one. CNN is currently not taking the White House coronavirus briefing. Fox and MSNBC are. Now, it's a weird tweet because Oliver works for CNN. And that tweet, you can't tell whether he's being supportive of it, whether he's deriding it, or whether it's just him stating it. If you read the rest of what he says, it's quite clear. He's like, we're better than everyone else. Oh, shit, we better cover this. This turned out to be a 2-hour briefing. Normally, they run maybe an hour. This one was over 2. And yeah, there was a lot of important shit said today. And CNN got egg on its face because they decided not to cover something newsworthy. How about this, CNN?
Oh, my God.
If you're that tired of coronavirus, cut out 2 hours anywhere else where you're talking about that shit and do random shit then. When the president's up there giving these news conferences, you know, the things you guys bitched for months that they weren't doing at the White House, maybe cover those.
I don't. Again, it's one of those situations where I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but to so blatantly, and I know I use this phrase too often, but I can't think of a better one, to cut off your nose to spite your face. As a news organization, that you're so partisan. I mean, if there was any doubt, and there never really was, but if anybody watching from the outside thought there was any doubt that CNN has a political bias and a childlike tantrum complex, that really says it. It's like you're not going to cover a presidential press conference during a national crisis out of spite.
Yep.
Pure spite. I mean, there's no other justification for it. Just like we're not going to tell people what is being said from the White House because the White House is a boo-boo head. And like, really? Good job, guys. I don't understand. I would love to know Chris Cillizza's take on this. I would love to see that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't seen that. So
I
did see him retweet something dumb earlier, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, well, he does that every day.
Yamanshi Alcindor. I see her name a lot. She's from PBS NewsHour. She's actually, for PBS, she's been not trying to hide her bias at all recently.
Okay.
Today she tweeted out, President Trump, quote, "We are holding back quite a bit. We have almost 10,000 ventilators." That's the end of his quote. She goes on to say, he said the federal government has to hold back ventilators because the, quote, surge will be strong. Note, governors in New York, New Jersey, Montana, and elsewhere have been urging Trump to send ventilators ASAP. They have been, but that is misleading as fuck. Misleading as fuck. Because it makes it sound like those places are all out of ventilators. They're not. As we saw from Andrew fucking Cuomo the other day, they don't have them in warehouses, you guys, but they do have a stockpile that they're not using yet.
Yeah.
The government is holding back until they're needed, and then they will ship them. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Satsu.
Well, I remember the dude in Florida that was saying that they have a stockpile too, but he was like, "We're not talking about right now. Like we still have a stockpile because the hospitals don't need them right now, but for the future we might need them." So there you go. But the media is still like, New York has none, and Trump won't give them any. I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
not true either.
Yeah, there was a video the other day of Andrew Cuomo. Somebody asked him, was Trump right when he said you have ventilators in warehouses? And he goes, no. What we have is stockpiles of ventilators. He actually fucking said that.
I know. Oh, and side note, did you see the picture of him where it apparently shows that Andrew Cuomo's got nipple rings?
I saw that, and it's disturbing.
I can't tell if that's some kind of Photoshop job or if it's like maybe he like put tape on there so he wouldn't like have his nipples sticking out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no clue if that's real. By the way, there was a photo going around quite a while ago of AOC where you could see her nipples. That was entirely photoshopped.
Yes, that was.
Speaking of which, Chris Cuomo has coronavirus, and that man is a douche, and I don't like him, but I hope he recovers. That's sad, and I hope his family doesn't get it, and that it didn't spread through his workplace, because as much of a dick as he is, I don't want the man to die.
Doesn't everybody in the CNN newsroom now have to like self-isolate? Shouldn't they have been working from home to begin with?
Theoretically, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have going on here? I saw this. Okay, so during the press conference, there's one graph that comes up that says goals of, let me see if I can find the exact word.
This thing. Yeah.
Goals of community mitigation. And what it shows is the graph of what they think would happen if nobody takes any precautions at all.
Right.
And that's the graph where there's this big graph of about 2.5 million, almost 3 million people dying. And then there's another line on that graph that gets up to between 100,000 and 200,000 people dying. And because at the top of that, it says goals of community mitigation, there's a whole bunch of dumbasses out there like, oh, the administration has goals of 200,000 people dying.
Yeah, the goal is to kill people. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Even if you didn't watch the actual fucking thing where they talk about this in depth, you'd have to be a goddamn moron to think that's what they mean.
Right.
That they're hoping 200,000 people die. I'm gonna do one more. Let me find one more that was fun.
Sure.
I just tweeted at my good friends over at Frito-Lay, and anybody who has a Twitter, please retweet this.
Frito-Lay.
Yes, Frito-Lay makes guacamole Doritos.
Oh, I see.
And I would really like to get those for Satsu eventually. So let's try to get their attention, people.
Do it. Do it.
Just retweet that at them. Yeah, Frito-Lay, come on. We need to get this. We need to make this happen. You're not making ventilators right now. Make some of that sweet goodness for my friend.
Imagine if Frito-Lay did make ventilators. What would those look like?
Like a triangle.
Big curly cues of corn.
It'd be a cheesy covered triangle of ventilation goodness. But yeah, that's all I got. Scribe. We lost Scribe. Well, that takes us into a weird place. Guys, this is your time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into chat now. Real quick. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, no, that was me having to disconnect from my work connection, and it screws up my.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
I empathize, Sweetest. Thank you.
But I was just telling them it's their time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into chat now.
Let's see. So I am officially now done with work, thankfully. Oh boy. That needed to get done. Sorry, guys. I apologize, but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, remember that thing I said I'd get done tomorrow? Well, it's done now. Like, oh, that means I have to. Oh, so that's what happened. Nothing for here says Frito-Later. Sure, it's a Frito-Later. Let's see. Peter Silak, Katie's 3 and 3. Andy Como does seem to be the kind of guy that is into really weird, kinky shit. I wouldn't be surprised if he had nipple rings. It is a bizarre photo. It shows the outline of something not fleshy in his nipple areas. Again, I don't know if it's Photoshop. Maybe it's fake. Maybe it's a doctored photo. But either way, let's see. Pengumpkin says, what do you guys think of the iDubbbz controversy? Now, I only know, okay, this is my understanding of it because I haven't been paying that much attention. iDubbbz has a girlfriend / fiance something, and she's doing like OnlyFans now, and she got a boob job, and she cheated on him or something.
No.
Okay.
Here's what. Get your
real quick. Thank you, Cryptic. I bet it's nipple clamps. Bet me. Well, I don't know.
Fight me in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Fight
me in Knoxville. Now there's a callback.
Now there's some. Yeah, exactly. Nothing for you here. We talked about this on Monkey in the Morning quite extensively because I get bored over there.
Okay.
It says iDubbbz is a pimp, not a simp. Changed my mind. I agree. So what happened is iDubbbz gets this girlfriend, and yes, he did pay for her to have a boob job.
Oh, he paid for her. Okay.
He did, yes. And she has decided that she wants to do this OnlyFans thing, and he's being supportive of her.
Uh-huh.
And there's people who say she's mean to him and that she's flirted with her ex-boyfriend.
Uh-huh.
But actual cheating, I don't think there's been proof of.
Okay.
It's just she's been a little too flirty for some people's liking. And people are mad at iDubbbz because he's not dumping her for being an e-thought.
Mm-hmm. which he
That's
built,
it. That's the controversy.
he built her to be an ethod.
That's the controversy.
He built her to be an ethod.
He doesn't care if she shows off her titties for money.
Yeah. Okay. Scandal. Ooh. Let's see. Jack Gunsky, Scribe Light. Instead of on Doritos, how about guacamole flavoring on Quippers United after the show? That sounds disgusting.
Oh,
What?
speaking of after the show, I forgot to mention I will be doing a game stream after the show over on Ranty Monkey Games.
Motto Winter. Oh, Lords, would you try a ramen-based cereal? Does not taste like ramen. How do you have
no.
How do you have a ramen-based cereal if it's not just ramen? I don't understand that.
I'm guessing it's just like that's what it's made out of, or it's shaped that way.
Sure. Thank you, Cryptic. Again, I'm showing off my chest for money. Please pay me. Hey, it's been done since the beginning of time. If people want to throw their money at that, that's entirely up to them.
And here's the other part of it: if you don't like that him and his girlfriend are doing it, don't get in a relationship like that yourself.
Yeah.
Well,
Their
that
relationship doesn't hurt you.
That was the point that I was like, a lot of people are mad on his behalf. And if you see a lot of comments, people, I would never let my girl do. I'm like, well, don't. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do it. Don't let your girl do that. I mean, it's not that hard. How are you mad for him? They about to be making a lot of fucking money, and I'm a little jealous.
Yeah.
But,
Meanwhile, all of you out there beating off to ladies being paid for it, so stop it.
Right.
Chatmort says she's like a 5 before you subtract points for meanness and lack of intelligence. I don't even know. Let's see. Peter Sykes, Randy Monkey. I heard that Zach Braff and Donald Faison are starting a podcast called Fake Doctors, Real Friends with Zach and Donald. They will apparently be doing commentary over Scrubs episodes.
I would actually watch that.
Yeah, you would.
Well, that I love Scrubs. I really do. I think it's one of the best shows that's ever made. And those two together are fucking amazing.
The Shield is the best show ever made.
Well, Monkey said one of, and Scribe said the Shield, so we know who's the Sith.
Oh, now that's a deep cut. That is, you got me there.
Yeah, sure did.
You got me there. That's right. Only a Sith speaks in absolutes. But Obi-Wan, you just said, "Shut up, Anakin." Oh. Sarah Plyer, Scribe, please read my previous comment. Oh, why don't you just say it again? Okay, I'm scrolling up. All right. Okay, update. My dog Red is doing very well healing. He is still constantly sleeping during recovery. Other than that, almost back to normal. Yay! This is the puppy that had to have his eye removed, unfortunately. I'm glad he's better. Cryptic, thank you so much. Nobody took my offer. Now I'm sad. Well, I mean, we can't see your chest. It's just doing it on faith doesn't really do it. Like a striptease radio show doesn't really help much, unless you're Howard Stern, I guess. Let's see. Parody Bear, if you let her tell you her thoughts, you a simp. Yeah, I don't know. Frosted Glass, if they make a live-action black Spider-Man movie, will he be played by Kunta Kinte Maguire?
What?
What are you talking about? Yeah, no. Jack Gunsky, real question. Oh, unlike all those others, what is the weirdest flavored chip you've ever had? My submission, hamburger Doritos. The weirdest flavored chip. I remember there was what was it? Chicken and waffles?
Yep, they have those.
They still have those? I thought it was like an experiment thing at the time.
They bring them out every so often since they did so well because they sold really well.
Yeah, I remember the first time they came out, somebody handed me a couple and I tried them. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But other than that, I can't think of novelty chips I've had besides just like the normal stuff.
Do you live where they have what's the brand Jay's? Because if you've never had a steak flavored potato chip,
no, I don't think I have.
that actually tastes like a goddamn steak, it will blow your fucking mind, man. Then you haven't lived, man.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm dense. No one nowhere says Toby Maguire, Kunta Kinte. Maguire, Toby. Yeah. Okay. I get
Toby.
it.
Oh,
Yeah, I get
wait, Monkey, were you talking about the Hers?
Hers, that's what it is. Hers, not
Thurs.
Dude, he ain't fucking around.
right?
I've never heard of them, so either they're something I've never seen before, or they don't have them where I live.
They make the baby back rib ones are the ones that are really good. Those are the ones that people go for, but they make ketchup flavored ones.
Yep.
That I turned my nose at them, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Man, they're actually pretty fucking good. I think they do like dill pickle. They have a steak and potato, it's like steak or something ones. Those aren't that great, but so far,
no, they make it. Their steak one actually tastes like steak, and it's weird because the texture is all wrong for steak.
And that's my major issue. I'm like, I've never had steak flavored anything, and this just feels wrong.
Your brain just yells no.
Let's see. Devil Fruit Zero. Scribe, do you like banana peppers? No, but I do like those mini bell peppers. You ever seen those little mini bell peppers?
Mini bell peppers?
Yeah, they're miniature bell peppers. You get a bag of them. There's like tiny little bell peppers.
No.
Oh, they're good. So what you do is, I think I've talked about this before. Free recipe, guys. So you find these mini bell peppers. They're just like. Yeah, anyway, you take them, you chop off the top with the stem and everything. You core out the middle, take out all the seeds. And then what you put inside them are sun-dried tomatoes, like a sun-dried tomato, like the one in the little bottle that has like the syrup and everything, and a slice or a little, what do you want to call it, a spear or whatever of pepper jack cheese. And then you just stuff a bunch of those together and you've got little hors d'oeuvres. And they're great. Oh, they're so good. They taste so yummy.
That sounds pretty good.
Cryptic, thank you. Satsu, you want durian again?
No, do not send me another fucking alien egg.
Oh. Cameraman J, Satsu, how do you sound like you got a Harvard degree without paying for said degree? Oh my. Oh my.
Who, me?
Well, Satsu.
That couldn't have been to me.
Cody Fry, thank you so much. Have some money because I'm bored at work. Well, thank you. I was bored doing work during the show a minute ago. Oh, God. But it's all about you got to get things sent to the client on the day of the last day of the month if you're going to be able to bill it for the end of the month. And so it's like, yes, I have to do this now. So I feel your pain to a certain extent. But I hope you find some excitement at work listening to us talk about random stuff. Let's see, Model Winter. Oh, Lords, would you date a Nepalese woman who can dislocate her joints?
Yes.
Would I date
My
her?
wife doesn't let me date.
Oh, well, Satsu already ruined his chances there.
What?
You're married.
Well, yeah. I said I would. Not I'm going to.
Right. I guess it would. Something more than where she comes from, and she can dislocate her joints, would be needed for me to make a decision on that. I would have to know this person a little bit first. Delford Zero, does celery have a taste? I swear it tastes like grass. It does. Yeah, it depends. I guess it depends on your taste buds. It's got a very distinct but light taste to it, as far as I'm concerned. Also depends on how it's prepared too. It can have more flavor if you, put in some stew or boil it up a little bit. Sarah Plyer, Scribe, where did the Southern gentleman go? What, you want the Southern gentleman accent? I guess I could do that. I haven't done that in a while. Maybe I'll do the whole TEDx thing tomorrow in my Southern accent.
That would be funny.
Hey, there you go. Maybe. Well, I mean, hey, tomorrow's a special day, isn't it?
No.
Oh, okay. Angry Illinois
wait.
News update on my AC. It is going to cost $4,100, and I do have enough to put it on my credit card. So until the stimulus check comes in, no donations. Dude, don't worry about that last part. Just $4,100.
Shit's expensive.
Holy, well, I guess I mean, I live in an apartment. I don't have any air conditioning. I live in just a thin box of either ice or melting, depending on the time of year.
I just want to address in chat. It was asked why does Satsu sound so white? Because he's listening like I told him to.
Yeah, remember, guys, listen to Sophane. Satsu says everything Monkey tells him to.
No, that was Matt.
Was that Matt?
Why do you keep
I'm
getting
sorry.
them mixed up every
No,
time you do
No,
that?
it's because it was in the same thread. I apologize, Sophane. I sincerely apologize. I made that was my mistake.
I'm about to say that's the second time you did it.
I know. It's just that it started in that thread, and for whatever reason, my brain is like melded the comments together, and my bad.
So, real quick, guys, you guys remember the My Pillow dude, right?
Yeah.
And you know what he was there for, like the whole reason he was there and the reason he walked up to the podium and spoke in the first place. This is what the Huffington Post article says about him. Trump hands coronavirus briefing to My Pillow exec who tells America to read Bibles.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the headline. That's what he was there for. And I'm just like, you mean the guy who repurposed his entire company to make 50,000 masks a day because people like you are begging for them and saying that we need the materials? That's not important. Fuck that shit. That the headline is he told people to read the Bible. And people are like, the people who are sharing this, I'm seeing over on Facebook are like, oh, see, fuck Trump, fuck this dude. Why are they wasting our time with this bullshit? I'm like, come on, man.
I had a day-long argument with somebody over this who thinks it's going to destroy our democracy. I had to keep reminding him it was our republic. And giving them examples of things, of presidents who've the president of the United States, Barack Obama, once actually read from the goddamn Bible behind the presidential seal. It's not a problem with separation of church and state. And then I had to remind the guy, because look, it sets a bad precedent. I'm like, you do realize since George Washington, almost all of our presidents have been sworn in with their hand on a Bible. What? We'll survive the My Pillow guy telling people, hey, you should read your Bibles. I think we'll be all right.
Let's see. I scroll back up a bit. Frosted Glass. Is tomorrow's episode going to be backwards again? Again? What are you talking about? I don't know what that means. Cameron J. When will Ranting Monkey change his YouTube name to Shouting Simeon to screw with the YouTube algorithm?
I don't change my name.
Yeah. Well, why should Monkey back down? Why should he give in to the evil that is the YouTube algorithm? Prospero says, "Dear assholes on Twitter, please look up the word pluralism. Thank you." Nothing for you here. The Bible is a historical work of fiction, and if nothing else, a philosophical text that is the fundamental basis of all Western civilization, bare minimum. Depending on your perspective, that could be one way of looking at it. That's true. Peter Salikati says he doesn't shout. Sure he does.
Oh.
He raises his voice, maybe. I don't know if it's shouting. Yes, Satsu?
Oh, I'm jealous. In Australia, apparently Square Enix agreed to break the agreement for the date that it was supposed to come out and give everybody the game early because of COVID. And there are pictures of people with it online, and I'm just
like, shit, son.
What? God damn it, I want it.
Deferred to Scribe. Do you guys know that the My Pillow guy was a homeless druggie until he hit rock bottom, and now he's an awesome CEO with a great product? I would swear on my life on its quality. I only have heard of quote unquote pillow guy. I haven't seen this video. I don't know anything else about it. Everything I know about this person is coming through osmosis from Monkey and Satsu. Frosted Guys, backwards because of April Fool's Day. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's see. Peter Sykes. Yes, that's something else. Attack Alpaca. Have you ever had yogurt raisins or yogurt almonds?
No.
I think I may have had yogurt raisins once, but I'm not a big raisin person. I mean, there was a brief time where I just like have raisins around as a snack, but yeah. So there's that. Whatever. They're not a regular part of my diet. Let's put it that way.
I've had yogurt raisins. They're pretty good.
Monowinter, oh lords, what are your thoughts on the study on the effects of Jello in a vacuum chamber? Does it all like expand and everything like a marshmallow does?
I don't know.
You ever seen a marshmallow put into like a vacuum chamber?
I think, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, the air pressure is taken out, and so then the marshmallow just starts expanding ridiculously, and then as soon as they let the air back in, it shrivels up to a tiny little nothing.
Well, that freaking weirdo that I was telling you guys about, who sends me random videos, sent me a video of a really sexy girl in a marshmallow. Unfortunately, it was weird.
Unfortunately, it was weird. Okay, well, given what would happen with the last video you sent us, I can only imagine what weird is, and I really don't want to do that. Thank you, Devil Fruit Zero. It's Karate Dog Cat Fox.
Yeah. Well, let's just say she was storing the marshmallow in one of her orifices.
Yes.
And yeah.
Okay.
I was just like, what is wrong? Where? I need to know. Like, where are you going to get these weird ass fucking disgusting videos?
Thank you, Devil Fruit Zero, by the way. Thank you again. Angela Ariaga, love yogurt almonds, but prefer cranberry raisins to regular raisins, and those are good yogurt dipped as well. I've never had a cranberry raisin.
Yeah, I don't think I've had that before. Oh, wait, yes, I have. They're gross.
Okay. Peter Silak, hey, Scribe, without going into detail, when you work from home, what kind of work are you actually doing? Is it spreadsheets, numbers, stock take? It's the easiest phrase I can use is just data collection, data processing. That's there, lots of moving parts to it, but that's the short version. So spreadsheets and PDFs and a whole bunch of stuff, and that's it. So it's just like getting things from places, putting them in the right spots, zipping them up, delivering them to the clients, etc. That's what it is. Let's see. Prospero, no, that's for us. Andrew Joyner, does Scribe look like his avatar? Not really, no. And these two can attest to that. I have dark brown hair, fair skin. I do have a mustache goatee kind of thing going, but I don't have the strawberry blonde or red hair or whatever that is that the character's got. But I know a lot of people sort of imagine that that's what I look like, and I'm flattered.
You could definitely cosplay, and I think you'd be pretty close.
Oh like yeah. If I had the coat and the walking stick and everything, and I grew my mustache out a bit more and tousled my hair and took my glasses off, I could probably swing it at least in a rough fashion. I mean, I have effectively the build of my avatar. I just don't have the face. Paige Aviles. So accounting, it's not accounting. No, it's. I mean, I have to do a bunch of numbers stuff at the end of the month for invoicing, but I don't do accounting. No. I did a kind of accounting in my previous job. There was a lot of math, and I was told there would not be math, but there was a lot of math, like prorating. What was it, fees and things like that, and God, I don't miss that part. Thank you, Cody Fry. I propose an alternative title to Lords of the Night: 2 simians and a desk lamp.
Why am I a desk lamp?
Wow, Cody Fry. Wow. All right. Black Romeo, Scribe Light. The backgrounds question was about the format for the stream being in reverse order tomorrow for April Fool's Day as a prank of sorts.
Oh, looks like somebody remembered.
Remembered what?
That we did that last year.
We did what?
Never mind.
Peter Stockhays, I know it's subjective, but do you think I'm more or less handsome than Chuck Norris?
Chuck Norris.
Well, Peter, knowing your face as I do, I can say with all certainty that you and Chuck Norris each have a nose.
Now, how absolutely hilarious would it be if he did not have a nose? That was the only thing he was missing.
God damn it, Scribe. It was a lawnmower accident. Oh, sorry, Peter. No. Oh, how could you?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I opened the door for that one. Let's see. Brenda Fry, does Monkey look like his avatar? Yes.
Exactly like it.
Yeah. His face is just two oblong ovals.
I look like a Chinese man wearing a monkey hat.
Wah, wah.
Considering my avatar was literally drawn to look like me, I don't think I'll be getting that question.
We also have seen your face on more than one occasion, so.
This is true.
Let's see. Vol Potato Pete, I think Scribe is saying you're fugly. No, I'm saying I have no idea what Peter looks like. I mean, if I have seen a picture of Peter, I have obviously forgotten, but I have no idea what he looks like. So as far as what he looks like compared to Chuck Norris, couldn't say. So I went the safest route I had available to me, which wasn't very safe, but it was funny. And that's really all that matters.
If it helps, I think Chuck Norris looks kind of funky. There's something wrong with that man's face. There's some bad genetics in there. So I'm going to go with Pete on this.
Yeah, he does have a very odd sort of long face. Yeah. I mean, the beard helps out with that. And he's obviously, I mean, age does weird things to your face and everything. But 4-minute warning, guys. Let's see. Paige says Voldemort confirmed. Yes, Peter Silac Hades 313 is actually Voldemort. Don't tell anybody, though. The Useless Cook. Don't forget to watch the Minions after the show. Yes, guys, go look up the Minions of the Zoo after this if you're not going to be watching Monkey's Game Stream or something else. They started out as a Lords of the Night after show, or sort of like fans after show, and now they're their own thing. And they have one channel, but they switch off zookeeper duties from day to day. So go check out the Minions of the Zoo after this. And Stargazer put Ranting Monkey Games link in the chat if you guys want to go watch Monkey or run around and was it 7 Days to Die?
Yep.
Soloing 7 Days to Die. And then Prospero. Yep. Thank you, Nuts. And Prospero put the link to the Minions of the Zoo in the chat as well. So there you go. Cody Fry says, I've already accepted that I'll burn in hell for my super chats. Okay. I'm glad. As long as you've accepted it, I feel better. See, nothing for you here. This whole corner of the internet is the zoo, and I love that so much. Yeah, it is kind of a zoo, isn't it? Speaking of which, I'm just in the middle of the Tiger King series on Netflix. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, that show is apparently fucking insane.
It is bizarre. You know what the really, really weird and bizarre thing is? I'm watching this in the first episode. I'm not going to give anything away, but this guy shows up at the opening shot is this guy who is part of the story. His name's Rick Kirkham. Now, I didn't recognize him at first because he has aged so ridiculously. But if you've watched Tiger King and you're curious about Rick Kirkham, what you need to do is go to the website called Snag Films, SNAGFLIMS, or sorry, FILMS, and look up the movie or the documentary TV Junkie. If you want to see the prequel to Insanity, and nothing to do with Tiger King, nothing to do with all those guys, but just the Rick Kirkham story, look up TV Junkie and watch that and just see who that guy was and what has happened to him of his own volition. It is insane. When I like I said, as soon as they put his name up, I was like, no, that's him? Yeah. So look that up. It's an amazing documentary all on its own of self-destruction, just beyond the pale. And then you'll know something of the person that then decided to get involved with the Tiger King. It's that guy's life is so bizarre. Let's see. No one nowhere. How far into the quarantine before Scribe shows Bill some love? Bill? Bill who? I don't know who the Bill is. What? I don't know. Let's see. And then Motto Winter. Oh, Lords, why does the cat bark at the passersby? Because it wishes it could be a puppy? I don't know. But guys, oh, sorry, one more thing. Peter Silent Kitties. And for your information, I'm waiting in line for a new nose. I chose the Jet Li, so I just have to wait for someone with a Jet Li nose to die, and I'm good. Chuck Norris will be super jelly. And on that note, guys, of celebrity noses, we're at the top of the hour and thus the end of the show. Everybody, thank you so much for coming out tonight and joining us on this slightly different, but I think overall fun show tonight. Remember, guys, tomorrow night, per usual, will be on Monkey's channel at the regular time. After this, over on Ranting Monkey Games, you can watch Monkey run around in 7 Days to Die. Over on Minions of the Zoo, you can watch the various zoo members talk about stuff and things and stuff. Everybody, our moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though our audience is the best behaved in the world. Everybody who donated. Can't say it enough. Thank you so much for your generosity, especially in this bizarre, weird, slightly dystopian time we find ourselves in. I really do appreciate it. As soon as I venture out again into the wonderful wilds, I will spend it on horrible things to put in my body like Jack Daniels and Dr. Pepper and Goldfish and Doritos and microwave burritos and candy and all the stuff I don't have in the house right now. And also remember, tomorrow, sometime between, say, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. or 12:30 p.m. around there, Pacific time, I'll be doing a TED Excellence stream. If I decide not to for some reason, I will let you know that as well on Twitter, because YouTube will not tell you. Okay, all that being said, Monkey Satsu, is there anything else before I missed or we should mention before we go?
Yep.
No.
All right. Well, everyone, again, thank you for joining us. Monkey and Satsu, thank you for joining me as always.
Indeed.
No problem.
And everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
And getting out my copy of Screw the Roses, Send Me the Thorns, the romance and sexual sorcery of sadomasochism. Okay. Don't get my accompanying sadomasochism, but there you go. Today's secret word is surroundings. Exciting word, I guess.
Sounds like